Lately, I feel like everywhere I look, I'm finding people talking about NFTs.
Non-flushable turds?
They're... Alexa, what's an NFT?
According to Wikipedia, a non-fungible token is a non-interchangeable unit of data stored on a blockchain.
What the hell are you talking about?
Based on everything I've read, the best way I could describe it is it's a certificate of ownership for a digital object. Which I know, a digital object sounds kind of like an oxymoron. But if you look out there in the broader world, it's what everybody's talking about. And some people seem to be making a lot of money off of it.
They're called NFTs.
They're now selling for huge bucks.
$69 million.
And me being the intellectually curious character that I am,
as greedy as a pig,
I started to look into it myself. And I started to ask the question, is there a place for a small farm like mine within the NFT world?
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
It's very hard to separate the hype from the facts. But what I want to try to do in today's video is break it all down and to see if there's a way to combine farming and NFTs together.
Yeah, that was a dumb idea. All right, yes, yeah.
Now let me tell you a story that's absolutely incredible. The other day I heard about this couple, and they live just outside of Atlanta.
I'm Thorne. I'm 33, and I've been working as a software developer for quite some time. This is my day job, like that has just been my career since getting out of college. And I lost my job last year during the pandemic.
My name's Mandy. I'm 25. I've been a freelance artist for a few years now, but before that I was a graphic design and marketing person for a health tech startup.
And they lived on a small homestead.
We've always brought in most of our money just through regular day jobs, despite having this homestead. And ducks were always our kind of central agricultural project. Just getting duck eggs is great.
And ever since the pandemic, their finances were getting kind of iffy. And in fact, they were about to go into foreclosure with their homestead because they didn't have the income they needed to pay their mortgage. But that's when they decided to try to explore the wild world of NFTs.
We went more the cute direction and just chose ducks.
10,000 ducks that all look recognizably like a dastardly duck.
Leveraging Mandy's art talents and Thorne's computer programming skills, they worked together to create a large collection of NFTs known as the Dastardly Ducks. These cute little duck portraits are interesting to look at, and I really do like the aesthetic. They created 10,000 of them, and they put them up for an auction.
Feels really cool actually seeing that timer start, and it's like, wow, this drawing that wasn't commissioned to me, that no one really wanted, is actually going to get paid for.
Suddenly we had $120,000 overnight just from these 10,000 cartoon ducks.
It was kind of crazy how quickly they sold, because we actually published the smart contract for the NFT collection like about 10 hours after we were initially planning on doing so.
Yeah. Within minutes of putting it live, we started getting a decent number of people minting, and then it just picked up from there. And I didn't go to sleep until the morning because I just sat there refreshing and watching that balance go up. And all the way to $120,000 over the course of 5 hours and 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Yes, you heard that correctly. In the span of a few short hours, Thorne and Mandy were able to raise $120,000 US.
We were so broke, and one of the things that just is really surreal to me is yesterday we were supposed to be in court for a foreclosure hearing about our homestead. The change overnight still doesn't feel real to me.
The day before we were supposed to have the court date, I just went to the lawyers and dropped off a check for $40K, got my receipt, and
that was ahead. We've been together for several years now.
Almost 7.
We've collaborated on some stuff before, but there's never just been this perfect fusion where it feels like the end result was just like, we don't want to have kids or anything, but these ducks almost feel like our kids because there was that perfect combination of our skills.
You know, hearing a story like Thorne's and Mandy's story, where they rescued their homestead by creating a series of NFTs based on ducks, maybe there is a place for small farms and homesteads in the NFT space. You know, living on a farm like the one that we live on, it really is a privilege. And it's not something that everybody can experience. Like, not everybody gets the ability to say hi to my gal Annabelle and give her a pet and a scratch and check to see just how much more pregnant she is. You know, not everybody gets to experience a beast like Kurt Cobain here. And so I really wonder, would NFTs be able to give people who want to support small farms and create connections with small farms? Oh, Ginny, be careful. Could NFTs be the avenue to let people do that? Where you have NFT buyers providing money for the small farm or the small homestead, while at the same time those people who are providing the support get the opportunity to have some sort of connection and stake with that farm. That seems like a pretty cool concept to me. But the reality is, it isn't all rainbows and unicorn farts.
You don't know the power of the dark side
of NFTs.
The end goal of this infinite machine is the financialization of everything.
I have a hard time imagining that that's what's driving a lot of the consumption of these NFTs.
Participants solve complex puzzles using these energy-guzzling computers.
They're terrible people.
With artists like myself speaking out against them publicly on social media.
So why are people so against NFTs?
There's no way a picture of a rock is worth millions of dollars.
I feel like it breaks down into 3 arguments against NFTs. And the further and further I went down the rabbit hole on each of these topics, the more and more I started to realize that the critics of NFTs might actually have a point. The blockchain, cryptocurrency, and NFTs are all very complicated topics.
And almost nobody understands what's actually going on.
And when it comes down to it, to understand NFTs, you have to understand the intersection of those 3 topics together all simultaneously.
My brain hurts!
Most people, including this guy, start to go all glossy-eyed. And when there's a mad dash to invest money in something that lots of people don't understand, that is the perfect climate for scams and rip-offs and a lot of good people losing hard-earned money. And if you look at some of the things and headlines that have come out over the last few months around the NFT space, whether it be phishing, fabrication, or just all-out fraud.
Mom, this is awful.
But if I look at the broader world and new technologies, this is not a new pattern of behavior. You know, it wasn't long after the invention of the telegraph that the term wire fraud came to be. With telephones, you had telemarketer scams, and heck, at this point, 95% of my email inbox is people trying to scam me. So we live in a scammy world. To cite specifically NFTs as a form of scams, and that's why they shouldn't be explored. One bad apple don't spoil a whole bunch, girl. Now, the second point of criticism around NFTs, that they are a pyramid scheme.
It's a pyramid scheme.
Buying worthless assets, believing that you will later be able to sell them to a bigger fool.
It appears to be a next biggest fool thing.
None of this is about the art at all, but the speculative value.
NFTs are in a huge hyped up bubble right now.
It seems like we're in an everything bubble.
There's no value there. Anybody can right-click save as. People are saying it denotes ownership, but who cares?
You know, look, I'm a kid who grew up in the baseball card craze of the 1980s, or the wackiness that was the Beanie Baby fad of the 90s. Things skyrocket in value and people jump in hoping to make a buck, but ultimately the value of that thing tanks. And some of the people who got in late are the ones who are left holding the bag.
Judas Priest Barber is one of those flaming bags again. Poop again.
I mean, just look at the global capital markets as an example of that going on over and over and over again. But where I see NFTs as different than a true pyramid scheme, hello MLMs, I'm talking to you, is that the value of NFTs aren't exclusively driven by recruiting new people into the space of NFTs. Now, you or I could look at a picture like that and say, it just looks like some dumb slack-jawed monkey. Why would anybody ever want that? But within some internet subcultures, it's really cool to have that as your profile. That makes like 0 sense to me. But hey, I'm also the guy who scratches his head when he sees record collectors. Like, why would you want a record when you could just have an MP3 on your phone? The value of collectibles, they are primarily driven by the perceived value of other people who are into those collectibles. Whether it's art or antiques or stupid monkey pictures, if there's a subculture of people who enjoy it, they might want that thing and would be willing to pay money for it.
Shut up and take my money.
Now, the third charge against NFTs, that they are absolutely ecological nightmares.
NFTs might be hot right now, but so is their carbon footprint.
Sort of an environmental disaster.
This is making headlines everywhere right now. It's becoming this whole controversy.
I mean, up to this point, that's been pretty much true. The vast majority of the NFT space up until this point, they've been minted with Ethereum. Ethereum is a cryptocurrency that uses proof of work to manufacture more Ethereum. And if you're scratching your head at what proof of work actually means, I actually found a good definition of it. It's when participants solve complex puzzles using energy-guzzling computers to add new blocks of verified transactions to the chain. So when you hear about Ethereum or Bitcoin mining...
Hey guys, so what is up? Red Pen Mining here. How you guys all doing? I hope you're all doing really well. Small, little mining rig here.
Typically what it is these like high-powered computers working somewhere in a room with cheap electricity, trying to process these puzzles, which opens up the new blocks on the chain.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
This consumes a massive amount of energy, and because most of this energy isn't coming from renewable sources, it could easily be seen as something contributing to climate change.
Ethereum's annual energy consumption is roughly equivalent to Nigeria's annual energy consumption.
Which is kind of staggering and irresponsible. And while that might make me want to rule out NFTs from an ecological standpoint, there is a trend that maybe gives you some hope. You know, there are some forms of cryptocurrency that are using what's known as proof of stake. Proof of stake, rather than doing all these computations, is basically sort of like spot checking the blockchain. And that's probably a terrible metaphor, but go Google, somebody else is going to explain it way better than I can. But the net impact of a proof of stake model for cryptocurrency is that it consumes way less energy. In fact, the cryptocurrency Solana, which purports to be carbon neutral, each transaction uses the energy equivalent of about 2 Google searches. In fact, you personally have used more energy watching this video that I made up until this point in the video than a single transaction of Solana. Yes, NFTs are a new technology, and yes, they have traditionally been harmful to the environment. But if there's greater consumer demand as well as a push to more energy efficient models, the ecological impact could actually be mitigated.
So all of this might leave you wondering, even if NFTs aren't as bad as everyone says they are, why would I, a farmer living in northern Vermont, be showing so much interest in the idea? I personally believe that NFTs are the future for artists. I mean, if I look at all of the artists I know who are artists here living in the 21st century, most of them create their art in a digital medium. Whether they're using digital cameras, or tablets, or computers, or whatever, the majority of their art is being created in a digital medium, making the traditional path for artists a lot less common. And so I believe that NFTs create new opportunities for artists.
Did you just start hearing about NFTs, but you have zero crypto knowledge? Same. I did make a sketch that I want to turn into an NFT, starting from scratch.
Hey, I got a Glock in my arm.
I sold my first NFT, and then some.
And when I talk about new opportunities for artists, take my friend Katie here. In just the matter of a couple of weeks, she was able to start up a small NFT collection, and now she's really starting to come into her own and building a career out of her Electro-Lady NFTs.
So my project is a digital version of a figure drawing that I had done in Rome in 2013. So of the 33 that I first put up, that was an investment of 122 USD. And I ended up making around 1,400 selling the first 33.
You know, over the last couple of weeks, I've been talking to countless folks involved in the NFT space. And while some of these folks definitely fall into the Bitcoin bro stereotype,
talking about crypto, bro,
or the moon boy stereotype.
Sir, the Lambo's ready.
What?
To the moon! It's hard to group all of these moon boys together, but that's kind of the moon boys are essentially the... because they want to go to the moon.
A lot of them are pioneering and enterprising people.
As an artist, I knew that I could find a way to have my art
make a living for me.
But to be perfectly honest with you guys, I'm not only thinking about NFTs in the land of the arts. I'm also starting to think about what's possible for farms and farmers. You know, so often I see this dilemma where farms need access to capital, farms need access to markets. They don't necessarily want to have equity stake partners or have to take loans from a bank, but many small farmers find a need for capital to start a farm or to expand an operation. And I just personally think that wouldn't it be great if there was a pathway for a farmer to find a way to access that capital to get their business going? Like, what if we made one NFT associated with every single one of our ducks? What if there was a series of Mr. Toby Dog NFTs? What if you could buy an NFT that was associated with a tree here at Goldshaw Farm? And what if the money that went to buying that NFT didn't just go to me, but it was actually money I could use and share with other farmers in our area, as well as across the country? I know that seems crazy and big and ambitious, but I also think it's possible. You know, so often I feel like farmers have missed out on opportunities over the last 150 years, where it always seems like the equipment manufacturer or the seed company or the meat processing plant, they're the ones who are making the money, and the farmer's always left holding the bag. But if you had farmers who were producing NFTs associated with the things that they grew and raised on their farm, wouldn't that potentially be an opportunity for the farmer to profit? An opportunity for the farmer to create more financial stability? I don't know, maybe it doesn't work at all and I'm deluding myself here and I'm buying into all the hype.
To the moon in my brand new Lambo.
Or maybe it makes a ton of sense and it could be something amazing. You know, as you guys who've been watching our YouTube channel for a while know, I'm the type of person who dreams big, probably oftentimes too big for my britches. And I'm not afraid to experiment with new and different ideas and buck the traditions. And so that's why, you know, I've gone down this researching rabbit hole over the last couple of days thinking about NFTs and farms. And I throw out some of these ideas to get reactions from all of you and the broader world out there.
Goldshaw Farm Entertainment, in association with Crypto Chain Productions, is pleased to present the Bored Toby Dog Yacht Club, a multiplayer universe based on 10,000 designs.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
And that's not ever to say that I plan to make the Bored Toby Dog Yacht Club, or that I ever anticipate Lil Ginny here trying to have some sort of pump and dump NFT scam going. But what I am saying is I think I see an opportunity, and I really want to know what you think. You can either let me know down in the comments, or send me an email on our website, or I'm even starting a Discord. I'm really curious to hear from all of you.